So, hey there, what's up? It's Liv. And apparently, this old USB camera that I have lying around, this is like a 5, 6 year old camera. It just works right out of the box. GNU/Linux, not that difficult. So, okay, let me resize this window here. If I can remember how to do it. Okay, so that's how. And I want to make it small. Okay. Alright. Okay, so let's begin our journey. I want to look for some music. I'm gonna listen to Gods of something today. I don't care which album, as long as it's an album. Okay, so this takes a while. So let's while I'm at it, let's just review our to-do. Okay. Alright. So we have to read C files and pick functions from it, so that we can know the return type and arguments of all our function calls. And let's just find an album to listen to here. Okay, so I want the longest one. Okay. Alright, so this is good enough. I think I've listened to this one before. And I have not broken this. Okay, perfect. I'm sorry, let me adjust this. Okay. So I cannot see a damn thing of what it's being recorded. So hopefully everything comes out okay. Just let me put the volume slightly down. Not a whole lot. Okay. So, I'm going to explain why we have to do this. So, the idea here is, and here's my keys, by the way. While I explain, I'm just gonna roll. Okay. So, what happens is we're dealing with what's called as FFI, I think it's the term. It's a foreign function interface, okay? And so we need to specify the return type, if any, of our functions, and the argument types as well. Because you need to specify this in order to import the symbol so that you can call it from either Perl or Python, or I think you can use. I think the range of interpreted languages you can use is fairly large, fairly wide range of languages you can use. But I'm just gonna do it from Perl. So it's just a lot of interfacing between Perl and C, and maybe later we do some assembly. I'm still not too good at assembly, so yeah. But I'm getting a little bit better. I'm getting a little bit better. And of course, utilizing how do you say? Utilizing Linux really does make the assembly much simpler. Whereas in Windows you have to do a lot of symbol importing directly in assembly in order to, you know, if you want to do a print to stand it out, you need to do a write syscall. And the way you do that in Windows is you need to import the symbol from kernel 32.dll. And you know, it's you know, I managed to do it anyway, but as a beginner, as a total beginner to assemble it, was a little bit daunting having to deal with shared objects like right off the bat. With Unix-like, I should say, system calls, it's a little bit easier. You just load the, how do you say, the index of your syscall into a register, and then the arguments into subsequent registers, and basically that's that. You sort of, you know, it's a little bit confusing at times because you need to look up the system calls and stuff. But at least in my view, it's simpler. It's much simpler than doing it on Windows. So I guess next up, when I'm done with this, we're gonna look at some assembly. But first, let's get our foreign function interface, and then we'll think about going like really low level, okay? So yeah, all right. So pick ICWH. I'm gonna show you the file we're using, okay? So if I go into the projects folder here, so R, and actually let's just look into lib. So if I show you here, you can see I have a lib and include directory. If I go into lib, you can see we have a bunch of these are basically what I call shadow libs. They're the, how do you say, they're just archives for all the object files of all my projects. Well, not all, but the ones that I've ported into Linux thus far. And basically what this means is that if in one project, say this one, you can see it here. So if inside of this folder I have some utility functions that I wrote because it came up and I needed them, then the object files for those functions will be archived into here. And so now into another project, say this one, I can just include, how do you say this, se, slash name of the header, and then I just need to -l se, and that will import all the symbols that I need. So it's really convenient. It's really convenient. That's what I call them shadow libs, because it's making libraries out of code that was not written as one. It's just it's automatically compiled. So this project is actually producing an executable, but you also get all of your objects bundled into this. So that's pretty cool. And I sort of lost my train of thought there. Oh yeah, the thing is, utilizing this FFI import, we can actually look into any of these, but we need to make a shared object variant. And I am not sure how it would work when you have a shared object that wants to call symbols from another shared object. I'm not entirely sure how that works. I would suppose I need to include them one by one, and luckily we have some methods to do that dependency solving. Let me show you another thing here. I think it's yeah, okay. So as you can see, for every one of these shadow libs, there's a dot file, and that dot file, say I'm going to show you sen. So this one is a little bit of it's sort of a bunch of wrappers around OpenGL codes, okay? And so in order to compile any binary that utilizes these wrappers, you also need GL and glue, because that's the extension wrangler, because that's what I'm using in order to get the GL calls. And so the thing is, if you have a project, and let me just show you my config file here. Oops. To go back. Okay, so if I just show you my configs here, so this is basically build configurations for all the projects. Okay, so here we have sen, which is doing wrappers around OpenGL calls, And here we have a chasm, which doesn't really depend on sen, so it's just how do you say? It's just a bunch of wrappers around SDL calls, right? So SDL, which is one way you can one library you can use to sort of spawn windows and get how do you say keyboard events and all of that, event polling and all of that. But sen creates an OpenGL context, therefore it depends on OpenGL. So you need some library that does that handles all of the OpenGL stuff. And so I've added onto it the dependency of sen. And what happens is, nope, don't save. And what happens is, we're going to into chasm here. This lsen dependency will expand into the contents of a dot file containing the name of the library. Okay, so when you list lsen as a dependency, it will expand to these dependencies listed here, and also this one, but duplicates are sifted out, so you will have no duplicates in your final list of dependencies, which is cool. Okay, so right now what we're looking at is a test, which is just that, a little test project I created, and it doesn't even have a header, right? So it's just, this had a main, which was for, I think this just spawns a window and gives it 60 frames and then quits, something like that. No, not 60 frames, a little bit more, because there's how do you say? Well, there's some funny stuff going on where the frame length is sort of relative to how busy the process is. So there's some slowing down and speeding up of time. But anyhow, this is the function that we called yesterday in the first Platypus episode. And well, what I want to do is have a, how do you say, a parser of sorts, a parser that looks at your source file and says, okay, so you have this function, what is the return type, and what is the arguments, what are the arguments to that function. So there is a complication here, because first and foremost, when you're looking for symbols within a library, actually what you're saying is an object file. You're basically a static library, at least in this system I'm using, is sort of an archival, like a zip file, but for object files. Something like that. Like, it probably has some like, it's probably a little bit more complex than that, but in a nutshell, that's what it is. So there is no clear way for me to fetch. Give me a second. So there is no clear way to sort of look this information up entirely from the library. So there's a little bit of stuff that we need to do in the middle, okay? And I'm just gonna have a drink here. A nice drink, okay. So, all right, that's nice. Okay. So what I think I want to do is I want to create a file with metadata on the functions that are available for import. Or actually no, because I mean headers are sort of a lie, right? Because I can I have no header for these, but you know, the symbols are present in the object file, and so they are visible. They are globally visible, so to speak. I can just fetch this symbol, whether there is an interfacing file like a header or not. So actually, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But it would be maybe nice to have like some kind of macro to mark certain symbols as available for export, right? Like something like this is a Windows thing, by the way. I'm pretty sure. So it's sort of like I think it's underscore Decls spec VLL export. I think it is something like that. And you could do something like this, right? So export, right? And it expands to this. I don't remember if this is the exact same syntax. It's one of those very twisted Microsoft things that I'm not sure what exactly they do. Because again, I can just this symbol I can just export as it is. And if we were doing any kind of C++, just oh, I'm just gonna show you. So if we were dealing with name mangling in C++, generally what you would do is this, right? And oops, that's not the symbol. And if and actually, I have to close that. Yeah, okay. So you would do this, and that would basically keep you from name mangling, and then you can just import that symbol, right? So it's as far as the static library is concerned, this is visible. You don't need to put it in a header or mark it as this is valid for export or whatever. So I don't know if I really want to do that. Like yeah, I think just doing it in the most simple way I can think of is probably what I want in the long run. So like having some macros, like some you do something wacky like this, like that seems like really nice at first, but what I found is it just the more macros you have, the more messy your code is. Okay, so yeah, no, let's forget about that. What we're going to do is we're gonna have a file that reads our sources and spits out a metadata file. Because the process would always be the same, I kind of feel like it should just be a core library utility. Shouldn't it? Yeah, it should be. It should be a core library utility. So, let's make it so. What I want to do is open up the to-do alongside this test file that I have. Oops, this test file that I have here, and I'm on home, but I want to put it there anyway so that I'm explicit. So Avtomat and Alt PM. Okay. Let's make sure that we have all. Okay. All right. So this is where we left off last time. We were able to add a path to our search path through this wacky use of unshift on argv of all things. I'm pretty sure it's not something I'm supposed to do, but you know, it works. So Yeah. So we were able to just find this library, and basically what it did is just it looked in our search path, right? In our search path, it looked for a library test. It found it, returned us the full path, and then we just passed that full path to the foreign function interface, to Platypus. It was able to find it, and then we said, okay, we want the symbol ty, and it gave it to us. Okay. So what we want to do today is get rid of this step, right? We want to say, I want the symbol ty, get it for me. And all of this stuff should not be present. So we need to, once again, we need to generate that metadata. Well, how do we do? So what I'm thinking is, the first thing is, like right at compilation time, or maybe even before, yeah, before compilation, we have a generator step, and I will show you. So like I said, I wrote Avtomat, which sort of is my own implementation of make, so to speak. Basically, it lists what you want to build, it lists your sources, and additionally, it has files to be copied after compilation is done, and generators. And generators is basically a list of scripts or precompiled binaries that produce a file, right? So that's all it is. It's a file that produces another. And if you have some problem wrapping your head around that, it's basically this. It's an echo with some text, and you're basically redirecting that into a file. Okay? So that's all it is. It's a sequence of prints. It's a linear sequence of prints. Think of it that way. It's nothing mechanically, it's nothing out of this world. It's just kind of a silly thing to think about, because it's not what you usually, it's not the kind of code that you're usually writing. But it's interesting nonetheless. Anyhow, because we have this generator step in our build pipeline, let's call it, because we already have that, we can probably include a generator for that symbol metadata, so that then we can have a simple library call, just find that file, and basically get all the information about the symbols from that metadata. So it might be a little bit crazy, but I think I can do it. Okay, so all right, so let's start with a very simple case, okay, and work our way up from there. I already have some code for C stuff, appropriately named cboil, so boilerplate. So in this cboil functions, I used to generate C headers with, you know, the if not def name of my header, define name of this header, and if C++ do the whole you know, extend C thing and all of that. I'm barely coding in C++ nowadays, but I just know it's good practice to do this, so yeah, I include it. Okay, so anyhow, we want to read a source file. So this is just, so this is beyond headers. Okay, so I'm gonna put it somewhere around here, I guess. Okay, so yeah. Okay. I want to put it after these functions because these are for code generation, and right now what I want to do is read. So it's, I like to make some distinction about that. So let's say seed reading for now. Okay. So the first thing we want to get is in file name, because we want to read through a file, so we want it. And actually we should make it so it's possible to work with a list of files. So let's put it like this, right, to indicate that it's an array. Okay. And it should give us the return symbol symbol type data, right? So return types, return args. So get, return, and args. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And we don't really care about the names of the arguments, but maybe we do. Maybe. Let's see. Okay. So just a side note, I don't know how I would handle pointers with FFI. I'm not sure how. But we'll see. There's probably a way to do it. And anyhow, it's just a number, so we can, if I mean, if we need to, for whichever reason, to get a pointer, then I would guess then the right thing to do is just pass it back to another C function. So we can probably do a uint pointer t kind of mambo, and then just cast it back. Okay. So let's do simscan. Yeah, simscan sounds good. Okay. So first thing, we need to find the file. Luckily, we already have how did you say? We already have I can't think of the name. Ffind. We already have ffind, so we can find files. That's really convenient. And ffind takes file name, so easy peasy. And we can do this as well. But for that, we would need to use wfind. Let's do this. Okay. So let's my files, and files is gonna be a reference. So let's my files should be equal to array dref first element. Okay, and then I'm gonna shift it just because I like to do that. I don't want it to linger. My f name on files. Okay. And I guess what we're going to do is just do a two-way here. Okay. So let me check real quick what's the return of wfind, of wfind. I know it's an array reference, but I don't remember what. Okay. Okay, so this might be a little bit of a problem, and maybe not. Because what these two functions are returning not the same. So that's sort of not so good. Well, it's gonna be two different execution paths. I can already tell you that. So, okay. I'm actually gonna turn this into a... And just really quick, let me see if I can find any other functions using this. No. Okay. So I have to find them, but on other files. That's that's not too encouraging, but I can do it. I can do it. Actually, I think I know which file. So let me just fix this real quick, because now I remembered. So sin, and that would be shade. I want to search for find, and okay, and I just need to do this. Okay. Right. Because the convention I have with auth is that whenever I return an array, I want it to be a reference. It's just because I don't know, single return value, it's more of what I'm used to, so it makes more sense in my head. Okay, so it isn't used anywhere else. Okay, let me just make sure that that's the case. Okay, all right. So this is another unrelated generator. It's doing a little bit of what I'm going to do now, but it does so for GLSL files rather than C files. Okay. So let's go back to our code. And yeah, we're going to have two different execution paths. There's no easy way to do it the other way because the return types are different, right? So we're getting different kinds of thing on the other end, so it's not so fun to do. And by the way, we need to adjust here. Okay. Okay. So the way it's gonna be, pass, and I want to pass it name. All right. And I'll handle the return in a second. I just wanna get my my brain sorted out. Okay. So the way we want to check is there is a wildcard in F9, so that would be just match and like that. Yeah, I think that should work. So if there's any wildcard in there, just send it to the pattern finder. Okay. All right. Okay, so wfind will return us a, how did it say, and focus here. It should give us a list of matches to a given pattern. Okay, with the entire yeah, so it looks at it walks through the search path, finds all files and directories within it. That's what the walk means. And then it does a little pattern matching. And then it just gives you the matches, right? So it gives you a list of absolute paths, two files that exist that match a given pattern. On the other hand, find, for some reason, gives you the source and then the path. So source in this case would be the absolute path to a given file. Okay. To a file matching the file name that you've specified, or in the case of a library, matching the well, matching the whole live name.so or .a pattern. Okay. So yeah. I don't remember why it's returning a path as well. It likely has something to do with this other function that I opened up just here. So let me just search for it real quick so I can just figure out why I'm returning this as well. The path, and where is path used? So now this is another thing. Okay, so it seems I made a mistake. Well, not a mistake, it seems I've been forgetful. Because this function is returning something that I'm not using. And honestly, I don't really want it to, like, because it sort of goes against. It sort of does go against the way that I want these two functions, wfind and netfind, to be sort of interchangeable, at least as far as the code is concerned. So the way we should have to do this is it should return only the file, right? But I need to make sure that this path variable is not used anywhere. So let me just check the other instance. And if I cannot find a use for it, I can just pop it out. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like I fucked up. Let's just get rid of that, and then we don't have to return an array. That's better. That's much better. No problem. Okay. So, fixed. Okay. Let me close this out. And I want to go back here. And so this is a problem. And I'm going to solve find. Okay. And now we can return just the file whenever we find it. Okay. All right. So that's nice. Why am I doing this? So I'm gonna show you right now. So that was sim scan. I don't know why I put the B there. I guess my fingers just did things because, okay. Alright. So I can just do this as an array. Actually, I can make it an anonymous one. Can I? Yeah. I can just do it like this. It can be wfind. So this is how you do a reference to a subroutine. Essentially a function pointer. and I can index into it with the conditional. And so, yeah. So I don't know if it would be faster, but it would be it would be very much branchless, and that's an interesting thing to get into. So okay. I wanna do reference. Just put it like this. I wanna do reference and pass it at name. Obligatory comment makes perfect sense to me. Like, yeah, it's this is something I'm gonna have to break down in the comments because it's really involved, and like if you don't understand this expression, you're completely justified. It's entirely twisted. It's entirely too twisted. So let's break it down. Okay, so let me just attempt to write it in a way that's slightly more legible. So there's not many ways to make this easy to read. Okay, so yeah, no, I should just give up on that. Okay. Alright, so what's going on? We're doing an anonymous array, right? So basically a list without a name. And then we're indexing into it. And what we use to index is essentially a boolean, okay? So if within the file name we match this wildcard symbol, then we want to pick the first element in the list, in the array, else we get the first. Did I say first here? This is the second. It's index 1, so condition is true. Index 0, so condition is false. And then with the reference, this code reference that we get, this subroutine reference that we get from the indexing operation, we take that, we dereference it, and we pass it the name of the file that we're getting from the iter here. So the file list. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay. So I'm gonna try and explain it a little bit here. So if anyone wants to ever maintain this code but me, they don't hate me as much. So use bool to index into contra. I'm gonna say it like this because I mean, if I had to say subroutine reference anonymous array, it's gonna take up the whole page. So, you know, function pointer array. Is that too complex? Is that too compressed for you? That's fine, that's fine. So, okay. What we get here... No, actually, you know what? Oops. What we should do is actually make an array. List. So this would be a secondary list of files. You know what? I'm gonna put this in this on its own scope because I'm not gonna use this as I'm working. So here would be, what we would have here is names, and here we would have files. So this would be a list of absolute path, and this would be a list of names. Okay, so let's say f names. Okay. Okay. And so let's push into files the result of this whole ordeal. Then to file list. From this goal. I don't know how to explain it. Eh. It's really hard to explain this kind of thing. This is why you usually hear people say, don't try to be clever. But in this case, you know, I think, I mean, it's a clever bit of code, but it's simple. I mean, I understand it fairly well. Like, this is not the believe me, this is not the most unreadable piece of code I've ever written. This is far from it. This is simplicity for me. This is actually quite simple for me. So, yeah. Result of points to the ref. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Else I'm gonna be here all day. Okay. Let me check how long I've been recording, and that's an hour almost. Holy shit. Okay. So yeah, we have a list of files. Now we can just iter through. Okay. So and well, I guess that rather than pushing, I could just read the files as I get them. But because this one returned, actually, oh shit. Okay, I made a mistake. I made a big mistake here. I can't just push this because this is a reference. I can just, let me rephrase that. I can just push into the file array the return of this call because it returns a reference to an array. Holy shit. Okay. What should we do? Well, one thing I could do is forget about the branchless stuff and just do an if else. Do I hear clean code calling? Ah, crap. Like, it breaks my heart, right? Because if I make wfind return a common array, if I make wfind return an array, then this would be valid and it would work perfectly. But that will violate the convention that I've set for this module. But following the convention, I am making things more difficult for myself. This is just peak object-oriented programming. Let me tell you that. This is usually the kind of thing that happens to me when I'm trying to be very object-oriented and clean and stuff. I code myself into a corner with, with silly things like this. I can just make w5 return an array and be done with it. It's not too difficult. But, it introduces this problem. Where sometimes I'm following the convention and some other times not. Which will confuse me in the long run. This is one of those things I have to think about. I just have to sit and think about it. There's no other way to go. Whoop. Okay. So, I don't know what to do. I mean, I know the quick way out, which is just changing the return type of wfind, or forgetting about making this branchless. I like to challenge myself to try and make branchless, my code as branchless as I can make it, even though I know that most of the time I'm just making I'm just gonna make it slower because this is obviously the if-else chain is gonna be more. It's gonna be the number one target for optimization because that's what everyone uses. But I like doing these branches things as sort of a thought experiment. Like, can I do it without an additional evaluation? If it can be done as simply an array of function pointers, that just makes my day. But right, I'm trying to solve the problem with a table of functions that have different return types. So I need to have a handling of that return type right in the middle, which favors having an if-else, right? Because you need to do an extra step after you get the return. I know my coding videos are, for the most part, me just sitting around and talking and thinking, but I mean, yeah, I think about what I do. I don't just type it. I'm thinking. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? Okay. All right. Yeah, we're gonna bite the bullet. We're gonna bite the bullet and forget about the branchless cool way to do it. We're just gonna do the boring way, and I'm gonna look for an album. Okay. Listen to Haircuts for Men. Yeah. That's the name of a band. Or I think it's a single guy. Doesn't matter to me. Haircuts for Men. You know, kind of like this. I haven't had a haircut in about 10 years, probably. Around 10 years. Okay. So... Well, what's this? 3 hours. Let's go. I don't know if it's good. If I don't like it, I'll just take it out, but... Anyhow. Yeah, we're just gonna bite the bullet. And do it with an if-else. I'm sorry, branchless me, but, yeah. In any case, this is cleaner, right? So, you could think of it as a better way to do it. It just breaks my heart. So, my, sorry. Files W find F name. Okay, good. And because I'm making it an array, it would just it will not make a nested array. It would just be a flat array. Okay. So if you know a way to do this handling, to do this handling differently, that would be cool. But I don't think it's possible. Because I'm basically having to do a conversion of the return type, depending on the function that I'm using. So I don't know a clearer way to do it. So yeah, I'm just gonna do it like that. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. So for every file I want to read it. Okay. Now, just for testing, I'm gonna do this in a very irresponsible way. Don't try it at home, kids. Okay. So, as you know, one can use the cat command to just paste the file on the screen. That's not what you're supposed to do with it. So cat is comes from concatenation, right? But a side effect of it is that if you call it on a single file, you would get that file printed. So if I go here and go for test.c, here I got my file. And you know what? This is kind of what I want. So yeah, I'll just do it like that. Let's say, yeah, source. I'm gonna backtick this. So cat f, and because these functions return the full path, this should be good enough to get my thing on screen. Okay. So once I have the file, what do I want to do? Well, I need to find functions. I need to find function declarations. And that would have a very particular kind of format. The way I would do it, I can handle that with a constant. So It's gonna be a multi-page constant at that, but let's say C types, and I'm just gonna do some basic types for now, and we'll see about maybe building this list from from a from like a Lex or something. But for now, just to have something that kind of works. Install float, and what else? Yeah, let's just do these 3 file tabs for now, and we'll just add to this as we go. Okay. So basically, what this means is, oh, I'll explain it as I write the. I'll explain this as I write the regex, okay? So makes perfect sense to me. That's what we're gonna. That's what you're about to witness. So I would need to do some splitting, and because I know that I might be passing header files to this, maybe, just maybe, then I would guess I want to cut at the semicolon, okay? So let's just do that. So we split at the semicolon, or source file, and that will give us an array. So expressions equals that. Subsequently, oh, that's a funny word now. Subsequently, we want to get rid of every new line in this. I don't remember how that works, so let's actually search for it. Like, it's probably not difficult, but I can't remember how. Perl regex match new line. Yeah, I'm using the duck. Oh, Stack Overflow. Of course. Yeah. Okay, so what's the answer? Fault. G or M, man. Alright, so you need to put the S at the end, right? That's what it's saying. Okay. So I'm gonna try that, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Doesn't matter. Okay. Oh no, I don't want to substitute, sorry. I want to match. So we want to find constant C types. We need something that starts with one of the accepted types, then is followed by at least one space, then a name, which can contain, I'm gonna, why not, let's just write this, so C name, and oh wait, but there's a problem here. I remember having some problems trying to use these constants and expanding them inside of a regular expression. I had a problem with this not too long ago. I don't remember how. I don't remember if it really does work. There's some caveats in there. I can't quite remember. Well, I'll just I'll figure it out. If it doesn't work, we'll just make them local variables and then figure out how to reuse them. It's okay. Anyhow, it should be W, which is word character, so, and D, which would be for numbers, so alphanumeric, or underscore, which I'm gonna escape the underscore. Does it do something inside of a regex? Okay, tell you what, let's try without, and if it doesn't match, then we'll figure out what to do. Okay, and you know, any number. Well, actually, at least one. Okay, so asterisk would be 0 to any. Question would be 0 or 1 plus 1, at least 1. Okay. So in order to be a valid name, at least one alphanumeric characters or a single underscore. Okay. I'm not considering pointers yet. We'll see about that later. Okay. Third, and let's make this a character class, maybe? No, that would make it no. Sorry. No, I didn't mean to do that. I think this will match. Not entirely sure. I'm gonna. Okay, no. That should match. At least try to match. Okay. So at least one space. And then we want the CNAME, okay, to its type, at least one space, name, so a valid name. After that, what do we want? We want to find if there's a parenthesis, okay? So, okay, one thing, we want to capture the type. So let's put it, so let's parenthesize it. That would give us, number 1 would be, so this would be my return type, would be this first type that we're matching. Then the name, I think I'm just gonna discard it. No, actually no. I actually kind of need it to capture that. Okay. Parenthesize this. Then a literal parentheses, right? Literal parentheses, and then we want to match type again, any name. Oh, so I can actually simplify this a little. Matcher. Can actually do it like this. Big types. I think the right way to write it is like this. Take it to another line. And I actually need to parenthesize this, so and I don't want to capture the white space, so that's okay. And let's do sort of the same thing with name. So in this case, this space would be optional, and then a literal parentheses. So yeah, escape that. Literal parentheses, and then again optional white space. Okay. Optional white space, and then it's basically the same thing all over again, kind of. So it would be, let me comment this. So return type, so let's say type name okay. So here's where it gets complicated, because I can match. What I should do is match the entirety of the arguments in one go, and just capture the entire thing. So actually, after this, we want a parentheses. I'm gonna put it on the next one. Okay. So let's actually, we have to write the entire pattern. This is a little bit. Ooh, this is getting complex. Okay. So I know people say, you know, don't just, right? Don't just parse everything with regular expressions, and this is why. Okay. Tell you what. Let's write it as a two-parter, okay? Let's write it as a two-parter. Let's just match this thing over here. Without the parentheses. And let's just match this thing. Okay. And this should give us these two things. Matches match, matches matcher. If source matches matcher, if source matches matcher, then we want to look a little bit more into this. And I guess we want to substitute, right? Can I do it like this? Because what I've been doing, I learned Perl like less than a month ago, by the way. I basically picked it up in less than a week. And so what I've been doing thus far is just match first, right? So match first, and on match, try to substitute. I don't know if you can say, okay, try to match, and if you match, then substitute. I'm not sure. Let's try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay. So actually, I don't have to substitute into, and actually, because I'm going to be reusing this. Yes, I'm going to be reusing this. Let's say type name. Say pattern type name. Okay. So type white space name. Okay. Type white space name. Okay, good. So I'm gonna have the patterns here. The patterns that I'm gonna reuse, I'm just gonna have them here. Okay. So let's match this, and give me a sec. Okay. So all right. So I need to iter through the expressions. That's what. Okay. Expressions, and I need to go for, let's just call it, you know, okay, no, yeah. Let's just say for my expression within expressions, we want to match the matcher. Okay. That should work, kind of. I'm not sure about this bit, right? Like I said, I'm not sure about that one, but we'll see. Well, let's just test it. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a little bit of caveman stuff. Okay, so type and name. Let's just see if we can get these two. All right, and then we'll figure out the rest. Okay. Actually, I should strip the comments first. That's not so tough, actually. Might not be a good idea, you know. This is the running joke here. Might not be a good idea, according to some guy. But you know, it's me doing the coding, so this is what's gonna happen. We want to match this and G. So we want to match this and any number of this. So this would be escaping this, basically. Open it is like, no, like this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. 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 Okay. So this, and then we want the inverse. Makes perfect sense to me. Okay. All right. Match and subst. So subst unknown. Let's say strip. Like some people like to put it like trim. Strip. That's more interesting, right? That's more spicy. So let's do that. This one's funny because like it's easier to do this one when you're considering when you're breaking something apart into new lines. Could be if it matches. No, but I need explicitly a new line here. I need something that would match a new line character. I wonder if I can just do it like that. I don't think I do. I really don't think I do, but maybe this is valid. I can't remember for the life of me. Okay. Okay. It might work. It might not. Let's just try. Let's try, man. Okay. So we strip the comments. Yeah, let's just attempt. Let's just give it a go, okay? So I have my actually have it here. Okay. I'm gonna comment out. Yeah, I'm just gonna comment out everything. Like this. And I wanna call auth sim scan. I actually need to add the path here, so that would be test. And I need to do a set include, right? So I want to pass this into include, and that will set my search path. Okay. So let's sim scan for test.c, and let's see what happens. Okay. All right. So I'm not gonna do the copy thing. I'm just gonna use the edit version of the library. Okay. So let's run our test file. Okay, let's debut that. Oops, not debut, debut. Okay, I'll do it. Okay. 590. Now what? Okay, so I must have missed a semicolon somewhere. Let's see. Let me just take a closer look at this. (972), I think it is. Actually, I wanted to say function name, but I think I'm already using name for file name, aren't I? Oh no, it should be available. Still. do it like that. Sorry. Name. Let me actually read. Sorry. Okay. No, I don't think I forgot. Huh. Oh. Right. Okay. I got it. I got it. Yeah. So this is not valid. That's fine. Okay. The only thing I don't like about Perl is the error messages, definitely. It's not quite so clear. Because, I mean, it's saying I forgot to declare things that are very clearly declared, so that's not the problem. So that's not the problem. Could be that I need to put this in another order. It might be think about that now. Just comment this out. Oops. There we go. All right, so that was the error, right? I'm supposed to send an array to this. That's easy. And an array reference actually, but yeah, you get the idea. Okay. Up. So what I suppose is it's not gonna let me. It's not gonna let me do it like that. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. Yeah. Now it's still throwing a bunch of errors. Must have forgotten something. Something dumb, probably. Okay, once again, let's comment this out. Okay, and I got stuck in an endless loop. Oh, it couldn't find the file. Charming. Hi. Okay. So it's taking this route and it's unable to find the file. Thought I had. Set includes. Fucking idiot. Okay. Okay, let's put that. Alright. And it did not strip the comment. That's disappointing. Let's see if this does it. Okay, it stripped everything apparently. Okay. So which one is the culprit? Is it you? Hey. Okay. Alright. Alright. So the stripping works. So this one works. This one doesn't. Okay. Let's just find the culprit. Like, so maybe the N is not doing what I think it's doing. That's a likely scenario. One. So I want to know if there's a. Oh, because I have that comment at the top. Because I have that comment at the top, it's just and because it's interpreting everything as a single line. Right, let's. Okay. All right. All right. Seems to work. Okay. Right, because it was reading everything as a single line, so basically it was matching everything in the file, and so this was trying to strip comments, but it stripped everything. Like at the point that it found one comment, it said, okay, everything after this, get rid of it. Okay. Let's see if we can get something with this. Nope. Okay. Try something more. Oh, wait. Wait. All the... Oh, that's why. Okay, what? I need to get to the bottom of this. Like, I must have made a really silly mistake within this block. Only I could have actual... if only I could have an actual error message, then I could tell what's going on. Let's get rid of that so it doesn't get confused. What? Person from us, we don't need that. We don't need that as well, I guess. Okay. 575. That's commented out. What? Come on, what's going on here? I mean, it's complaining about something I commented out. It's saying I'm using something I'm not using. That's just weird. That's just really weird. Oh, I closed the file. What a fool. Okay, don't worry. Not user, it's just not the used. Okay, still complaining. Five, 7, 5. There is nothing there, is it? Yeah. How would be my question. Okay, let's try this. Okay, let's try this. Gonna clear. And where am I? I'm gonna run the auto on Avtomat. Okay. What? $5.90. Yeah, this is my life. Welcome to my life. Okay, so I must have missed a bracket. Let me count. No, this is fine. It's fine for me. I hate how the cursor just snaps. So fucking annoying. Like, why? Why would you do that? You see this? How the cursor just boop, jumps in there. Like, why not just leave it where it is? God damn it. You're just making it harder on the eyes. Shit. Anyway. Okay, this is interesting. How did I break this? That would be my question. How exactly did I break this? Yeah, but that's not really the problem, is it? Let's see. The other thing I modified was F fine and W fine, so should be fine. This seems fine to me. So it's entirely within this function. It's entirely within this function and this block. It's the regex. It's definitely the fucking regex, okay. Like, I'm sure of it. I shouldn't say I'm sure of it, because now if I'm wrong, it's gonna be on camera, right? That's not what I want. Okay. Why is it complaining about things that are commented out? This stopped making sense a long time ago. What's going on here? This is just the silliest. This is just the most silly bug that I've had in a while. Okay, so it was, at least it was not the regex, at least I know that. Maybe I must have missed a bracket somewhere and I just can't see it. But I know it's within this block here. That I'm sure of. If I just take it out, I mean just uncomment this real quick so that I can comment the entire thing. Okay. What happens then? No errors. Okay, so the mistake is entirely contained within this block. But I don't know what it is. Right. Now I know. Oh, holy shit. Okay. Right, so let me explain. Source is the entire file just catted into a variable. And I was doing the stripping of comments at that level. And then I was splitting it at this semicolon so that I know that I'm evaluating expression by expression. And the mistake I made, like an idiot, is that rather than grab the expression the expressions I'm splitting into, I was trying to match the how did say I was trying to match the source, the entire file. Not going to work. Definitely not going to work. It doesn't tell me why it was complaining about things that I commented out, but okay. We'll see if there's more to this. Okay, so for how long have I been recording? About 2 hours. That's completely normal. Okay. All right, let's just give it a try. Ah, fuck, man. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. Yes, I'm up to my fucking ass with this. There must be oh fuck. Right. Because oh oh holy cow, why couldn't you just tell me that? Because I wrote this to do substitution. I was trying to check if I can do substitution and matching at the same time. And so I had that additional bar there. Oh my god, why couldn't you just tell me? Like, oh shit. Like, the Perl error messages are just terrible. They just don't tell you what you want to know. Okay. Let's try this again. My name and my type. No. 1 and 2. Oh, yeah. Type. And name. Okay. No errors. Nice. Yeah. From UU. And that gives us int type. We did it. Okay. So just to finish this off, I want to get the arguments as well. So getting the arguments is gonna be a little bit of the same thing. We want to match. It's the same pattern. It's type name, but the problem is it's sort of a what's the word? Variadic. The matching it is of a variadic nature. You want to match type name thing, and then if there's a comma you want to match again, and if there's another comma you want to keep on matching. And that's basically that. I have some ideas on how to do that, so we'll see. Okay. So the first thing we want to do, and I'm just gonna leave this here because it's cute. First thing we want to do is I'm gonna say my arcs, and it's actually quite a simple thing. Let's just say expression, and I don't even have to substitute. I only need to capture what I want to do. Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't need to copy. I can just do. And I'm going to try and explain it, but okay, so it has to be like this. I need to capture after this match. Well, you know what? Actually, let's replace it. Let's actually replace it. Like, I would like to know how to do this in one go, but well, I'm a beginner, so whatever. Oh, not like that. So, okay, stops, and it will still capture because the pattern is written to do that. Okay. So on match, substitute, print, and then match. Literal, match a literal parentheses, and then just, let's say, everything. Oops. Everything until another literal parentheses. And then regex parentheses, which means capture that, and treat everything as a single line. Okay. And print arcs. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay. Alright. But there's a mistake. It goes up to this. Not what I wanted. So it assumes all of that is the argument, right? That's what it's doing, yeah. Okay. Say last because we know it's a single one anyway. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just making sure. Okay. 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 Yeah, I've been smoking the same cigarette for the last 2 hours. So well, it's because it's matching new lines, and so everything counts. So now we we actually want to match our pattern here, right? So it will be type name. But it might be type name, or it also might be void, right? We know it's type name on this particular instance, so try that. Whoops. Aha. Yeah, I missed a... oh, because I don't actually want to capture. Right, I messed up. I messed up. Okay. So I should write another pattern. Going to here. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna have to write the pattern in a somewhat different way. No, let's leave it at times. Okay. I'm just gonna write a pattern, and that's gonna be that. So the tricky thing here is that it can be just void, right? Or it can be just like this. This is it's actually implicitly says it's variadic arguments, which is not something I want to get into right now. Or it could be type name, right? So I would like to just capture these two possibilities with a single pattern, which is not so simple. Or maybe it is. First off, a literal parentheses. The ending parentheses, and okay. And so it can be this pattern over here, or it could be another one. You know what? You know what? I'm just gonna... I would have to make it so name is optional. Let's do this. So I would need to put in C name, and here it's a plus, and here it's like this. Aha! And so it would be optional here as well. Am I still recording? It seems I am. We're almost to the 2-hour mark. That's remarkable. Stupid. Okay. Okay, here we go again. Oh, I must have missed the dot. Yeah. If there is a name, if so, we want 1 dot space dot 2, else only 1. Okay? Alright. Sorry. Okay, there we go. So there. We've successfully name test.c. We're successfully getting this thing. And well, now what we should do is do the thing with the coma here. But no, I'm gonna do it later. So yeah. This was fun. This was fun. It was a fun while. And so that's it from me. Have a good one. Oh! That didn't stop the recording. What? I don't know my own shortcut.